Well, hello everyone. Right. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to 2020 Olympiad, Online Olympiad actually. My name is Roland. I'm still here together, of course, with Anna Muzichuk. How are you feeling, Anna? How was the break for you?
Fantastic. I think we needed this break and we are in full spirit to continue this amazing stream. And yes, I am Grandmaster Anna Muzituk here today with Grandmaster Roland Professors and we are commentating on Division 2 of FIDE Online Chess Olympiad. Please welcome everyone.
Yes, welcome everyone. So, what do we have in store for you? Well, before the break, we were continuing with Pool C that just finished. We had Jordi van Verreest coming over for an interview. We had a lot of fun with him. And of course, during the sixth round of Pool C, while Pool C was finishing, Pool D started. So, Pool D has now got 5 rounds, is now 5 rounds on the way. So, here are the results for Round 5, as you can see, Norway going strong with 5-1 against Sweden. Serbia winning as well, 5-1 to Chile. Turkey winning 4-2 against Iceland. Denmark losing by, uh, very closely, by the closest margins possible, 2.5, 3.5 from Croatia. And Guatemala losing to Ireland with 1.5, 4.5. What does all of this mean for the standings? Well, let's take a look. We've got Turkey clearly in the lead. Turkey is actually one of the favorites to win this poll, not just because they are high up in the standings, but also because of their average rating. They're one of the rating favorites. Norway doing very well as well on the second place, and Serbia also doing very well on the third place. They all have top 100% scores, and they actually already have got a gap with the number 4, Croatia, who has 6 points. So that's a 4 point difference in points for the top three players there. Countries, not players. All right, so what do we have in store for you right now? Well, we're going to cover, of course, round 6 of Pool D. And we've got some matches going on for you. As you can see, we've got Norway, Ireland, Croatia, Guatemala, Iceland, Denmark, Chile, Turkey, and Sweden, Serbia. So that's not all. Pool E will also start at the same time as this round, but we are going to focus in this next hour on the games of round 6 of Pool D. Are you excited, Anna?
Yeah, thanks for this information. Thanks for this nice intro. And yes, three teams are leading in Pool D, and it's really difficult to catch them. They all three teams are with 100% score, but Croatia and Sweden, I believe they still have chances to be in top three. Just to remind our viewers why it's important, why we are talking about top three places, and this is because only three places are qualified to the top division. That's why it's so important for the teams.
Yep, and there you go. You can see it right here. We are already through the Olympiad with 3 divisions. I mean, like the base division we already did, Division 4 already 2, Division 3 already 2, but now we are at the Division 2. And as you can see, the 3 best divisions qualify for the next division. So, yeah, that is exactly the point that we were trying to make. But this is not all. After this weekend, we will continue, of course, with the top divisions for which all these countries in this pool are trying to qualify. So there you go. Yeah, what do we have next? We will, of course, try to get the games on as soon as possible. And actually, I'm going to check if they already started. Let's take a look. Yeah, some of the games are already dropping in, and there's actually already some progress in some of the games. So, for example, we've got here a Norway game against Ireland game, I believe. So, Norway going very well in this pool. And yeah, this is an interesting position. Who do you think is better and why?
This is a bit unusual opening. It started with knight f3, knight f6, c4, g6, b4. Not the most common way to face this setup with knight f6, g6, but why not? Yeah, let's try
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Black played c6, g3, some normal moves. So looks very logical. Black is trying to play in the center. Knight d5. Take queen c2. There was a trap behind queen c2 because knight before was not possible. Yeah, because of queen b2 or queen c3, win the knight. That's why queen b6 was played.
Yep. Let's get
Yeah,
back to
created
the
the
game.
threat of taking
Yep.
the b4 pawn on the next move. So now it had to be protected. a3, a5 played. A b takes e5, rook a5, and castle short. So what can you say about this position? Some pieces have been developed. White has quite a weak pawn on a3. But for that, I believe white has a better control over the central squares. e5 square and d5 square are already controlled by white, while e4 square will also be better controlled by white because, yeah, they can easily play e4 and the queen on c2 is already controlling it. So it's more or less balanced position. I expect lots of fight in the future in this game, I mean.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I was just waiting to see if there was any mistake that was going to be pointed out. It seems that I think they all played very natural moves, yeah, so far. Not really any weird moves that's going on. Can we call the opening an orangutan, maybe? Because white, I think usually when you play one b4, you are also going to play c4 at a later stage. So I'm just wondering, is that true, do you think?
I don't know. Sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes it starts with c4 and then with b4 as in this game. So the idea of white is actually, yeah, to occupy more space on the queen side starting from the first move. That's why they don't play b3 because they have more ambitious and they go for b4.
Yeah, grabbing more space in the on the queen side. Yeah, I was going to say the center, but technically c5 is not really a center square. These are the center squares, everybody. But yeah, let's move on. Let's see if we can find some interesting positions. I've got this one for you. This is board one, I think. Frode Urkedal versus Killian Delaney. Um, looks very dangerous for black. Black needs to be very, very careful, it seems.
That's
Black's
true.
temporarily pawn off.
Yeah, knight is under the attack, so the knight has to move. Two logical squares are d7 and g4. The pawn on c4 is under the attack, as you mentioned. And also the ideas like knight d5 followed by knight c7 or knight b6 are very dangerous. Frode Urkedal is the player from Norway, so I believe it's the second board or it's even the first board of Norway because Magnus Carlsen, a world champion, is not playing in this tournament, but still
Yeah,
Norway is doing very well.
yeah, I think so too. Knight d5, big threat. So when a knight moves somewhere to g4, then knight d5 might already actually be winning because there's no way to stop the check, first of all. And well, you can, but if you do, then you've got knight b6 and you are still going to lose the rook. So looks very good. I have no idea how black is going to defend against this. Actually, maybe knight d7 is the right way to go because after knight d5, you can now play king d8 because now it's at least not a check. And well, actually, maybe a move like rook b8 is better
Yeah,
with the
rook
same idea.
b8 is safer, but a rook b8 allows some ideas with e6. And now the knight can't move because knight c7 will be simply a mate. While if black takes on c6, then we may try to play knight c7 followed by bishop c4. So all the pieces are, coming, joining the attack. Maybe it doesn't work,
Yeah,
but it looks dangerous for black.
looks at least, at the very least, it looks very dangerous. Also in combination with bishop g3, maybe eyeing the b8 rook. Right. Yeah. So looking good for black is thinking played knight d7, knight d5. And yeah, probably rook b8 is going to be played, but we'll see that later. E6 also doesn't really help because that would be mate in one. Yeah, just
It
one.
helps white to checkmate, so
Yeah. If you
nice
want to be
facility.
kind. All right, let's see if I can find some interesting stuff.
Maybe let's just go board by board. So,
All right, this was board one. This is board three of Ireland versus Norway. Yeah, and once again, just a quick reminder, the ratings that you see on the board are next to the names are not their actual ratings. Those are the Chess.com ratings, not the FIDE ratings. So take that into account when you see the results later. All right, F3 played, protecting G2 because of the queen. White has the bishop pair. For now, the center looks like it's going to be white. Isn't white just a lot better here?
oh, I think white is better because, yeah, black is a little bit ahead in development, but not so much. White can just castle, play e4, bishop e3. So yes, they have two bishops per advantage, and they have a better center. Looks
Mhm.
like just a very comfortable position for white.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's take a look at board
Next
four
one.
then. All right. So there you go, a standard Caracan position. Hmm.
Do you play Caro-Kann with black?
No, I never did that. Did you? Did you ever?
I tried a couple of times, but it's not my main weapon versus e4, though the opening is very solid. And we have covered some of the Caro-Kann games today in the morning, in the afternoon, and now we have Caro-Kann structure for the evening show. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. By the way, I'm sometimes looking to the left because it might start raining really hard, and then I have to close the window, so I might be away for a little while. Not too much, but this is just so you know. Yeah, because it's really going to storm outside at some point, I think. But all right, never mind. Just keep that maybe in mind. Or something. Yeah. All right.
So what about taking on e4 and playing f6?
Yeah. Queen takes f6, knight g6.
Knight moves, we take the h5 pawn, white take the e6 pawn, black goes king b8. Looks more or less balanced, yeah?
Yeah, more or less. I like the knight on g6, so I preferably would not get a knight there. And the rook on h5 is a little bit awkward for the moment, but I think it has enough squares over the fifth rank, and maybe you can even push this to h2 at some point. Yeah, looks okay. Looks okay for black, therefore, but I don't want to. If I were black, I would not want to get a knight on g6. So maybe we can find something a little more. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe what about c5 right now? Is that an idea? Usually
You
that's an
could also
idea.
first take on e5 and then f takes e5 and then play c5.
Exactly. With some attack on d4. I don't know. I guess maybe c4 is nope. That's not an idea. I'm joking. C3 maybe.
c3 or queen g4. I was also thinking about queen g4 as it was
Yeah.
attacking the pawn on g7, and I don't see like a clear way how to defend it.
Yeah. This might be the biggest drawback of taking on e5. So, do you actually think that maybe c5 immediately is better so that you at least don't have queen g4?
Let's speak about it.
Uh,
If you play c5 first, I may take on c5. Yes, I'm also thinking about knight c4.
I think taking should win a piece for black, right?
Looks so,
Queen
yeah, queen
takes,
d8.
and then white cannot take back, and black will be a piece up. I like c5. I think that white is under some pressure if you play c5. c4 is an idea, but then you can take on d4. Looks very normal.
Yeah,
Um,
and okay. Knight c4, then you take the pawn on f4, maybe.
Most likely, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think so, right? You can also play b5 perhaps, but taking on f4 looks good enough. Knight
Mhm.
takes, queen takes, then take here.
Take here,
Yep.
take on f7. Not
Mm,
so clear, so
maybe first this then.
maybe rook d7 first, indeed.
Yeah, not so clear. Let's see if what black played here. We've got one move, takes, takes.
And black is thinking. At
Oh,
least one move we guessed correctly. Knight e4 was played.
yeah, exactly. Let's see now. We've got now this classic suspense moment. Like, is it gonna happen or not? Is it gonna happen? Is black going to play c5? Let us know in the chat. And otherwise, by the way, if you have suggestions for games that you want to take a look at, then let us know. We are here to oblige, of course, you, the viewer. So we're not just saying that, we actually already indulged the viewer request there. So let us know which game you want to take a look at, and we'll check.
Rook
Not a big
a5,
fan
to
of
be
Rook
honest. Yeah, that was a surprising move. I also thought about f5. So we were speaking about f6, we were speaking about c5, but f5 looks also very interesting, and then to take on e5.
Ah, I like it. I like it. Actually, queen f3. Let me go to e3, so that after taking, I can go take like this.
And then c5. So
And
your
c5.
idea, but with a pawn on f5. So yeah, we don't have this weakness on
Yeah.
g7.
This looks just very, very good for black. I think we're both trying to find ideas for black here, yeah? So
Yeah,
black.
but rook a5, I don't see the point behind rook a5. It's like
Yeah, me neither. I mean,
okay.
maybe she just wants to put the rook here and say, haha, my rook is back on my 8.
Okay, but what about the next board? I see the result is already. Who won?
Right, let's
Why?
take a look.
Oh,
Oh boy, this looks
oh,
like we're
look at
beaten up.
that. Look at that. 16 moves. How did it happen?
How did it happen? Let's take a look. E4, C5. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, before.
Takes C3. Yeah, this is such a typical gambit. I think this is still okay for black, but white is going. Oh, okay, this is cool. I did not know about this line, but I think it's very, very difficult to protect against this d5 move. So white sacrificed the piece, and the knight is probably, yeah, what if the knight would have gone? Then bishop b5 would probably be an idea here. Maybe bishop b4 at some point. Yeah, probably bishop b5 and knight e5, trying to get some action over there. Okay, so black decided to play bishop d7. Rook takes b7. I don't care about your piece. I'm just gonna grab some pawns, take on d7. Wow, this is, and suddenly it was going to be mate. Wow,
Uh,
that
not
was
the
an
mate,
aggressive game.
but yeah, looks like totally losing for black. So black had to be more careful when they were taking all these pawns and pieces because somehow white developed the initiative in a very, very quick way. So yeah, and this what it leads to.
Yeah, yeah. So
King
that's
on
what
d6
you,
after 15 moves.
yeah, after 15 moves. Wow. What's your shortest game ever played, Anna? Do you have like a easy win at some point, or yeah, easy win or easy loss? Because, well, I guess everybody sometimes had a quick draw just for exhaustion's sake or something. But did you ever have a 15 move loss or a 15 move win at some point?
Loss? No, I don't lose in 20 moves.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
good.
but wins, yes, maybe I had some wins with some weak opponents, but I don't remember like a very quick win versus a strong player.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think my shortest was 14 moves and I lost actually. So
14.
14. It
Did
was
it
a
happen when you were a kid?
it wasn't a live board actually. I was so ashamed afterwards. Was in the German Bundesliga. I had to play for I think it was the Bundesliga, yeah. And I had to play against the King's Gambit. And I tried a line which I knew wasn't being played anymore. And I thought that I was doing pretty well, but at some point I just forgot that there was a piece hanging. And yeah, okay, I lost. Yeah. Very,
Okay.
very painful experience. That's why, yeah, losing in 15 moves is one of my biggest targets right now.
For which team are you playing in Bundesliga?
Right now, for Werder Bremen.
Oh, you have a
Yeah,
strong team.
but I don't think it happened for my team against when I was playing for my team in Bremen. Before that, I used to play for um, Amstead actually. Yeah,
Mhm.
but they are now out of the competition, so they had sponsor problems and they are not going to be playing in the Bundesliga anymore. Yeah, I think it was with that team. So that was a long time ago, but I still remember it. This was such a painful experience.
Yeah, it's difficult to forget
Oh,
about that.
yeah,
So, but let's
traumatic
try
past experience.
not to put an emphasis on that.
Yeah.
What about this game? Diana Mirza versus Ul Ul Ulrike Langwik. F4 played,
Hmm.
and I think black needs to open the center as quickly as possible with some moves like e5 or c5. Yes, e5 is also possible because if f takes e5, we simply checkmate by queen f2. Good.
There you go. F
If
takes doesn't work.
d takes e5, I wanted to continue with knight takes e5 with the same
And
idea.
after bishop e2, or well, actually, is taking is such a good idea. You're opening up the position a little bit. I don't want that as white, but maybe it's okay after bishop e2. I don't know.
Maybe just rook d8, bring one more piece. Or maybe rook d8, now you can place it x d5, queen b3, and then two pieces will be hanging actually. So maybe rook d8 is not the best.
Hmm.
Maybe it was better to play d4. d4? d4, knight e4, yeah?
Hmm.
I was excited about e4, d4, because if it works, white may collapse very quickly with the king on e1. While if not, then white is strategically better. That's why I'm trying now to open the center and go for an attack.
Yeah, I wanted to point something out. Can we pay some attention and pay our respects actually to the beautiful knight on h7? I mean, look at that thing. It's wonderful. It's like it's got so many squares to go to. It's like, it's the dream piece at
Yes,
this moment, isn't
it's
it?
it's wonderful, but just go to the starting position. Okay, not to the starting position, but to the position after f4. And one may think that white is threatening to play g5, but actually not, because after g5, black would have taken 8 takes g5, 8 takes g5, and knight g5. So be careful that knight. That knight may actually come back to the game very quickly, and this knight can actually make this game.
Yeah. Don't underestimate the knight. It might get into the game later on, of course. But for the moment, it's a very beautiful piece on h7. Yeah,
Indeed.
but I think that yeah, like you said, I think black needs to play very aggressive here. So what
Oh,
black
if
is doing is very good, but this move,
and
I
c
don't
takes
know.
d5, e takes f4. Wow. Okay, black strategy is indeed very good. Very right.
Yeah, opening up the position. You are, yeah, I don't know. This just looks very good for black. However I look at it, I think material is also equal. Yeah, so nice attacking chances for black, I would say.
Knight e4,
Um,
queen e7. Yeah, short castle is not possible because the pawn on h4 will be hanging. So yeah, even with the knight on h7, it's not so clear.
yeah, indeed. Okay, let's move on to another one. We've got a result, by the way. Let's see. We've got Leon Levic from Croatia playing against Brian from Guatemala, I believe. And yeah, these pawns are unstoppable after rook b3, c7 played. So white won this game. Yep, nice position. Looks absolutely winning.
Next game, please.
Next game, as you command. Here we go. We already took a look at. No, we did. Wow, I'm having flashbacks. This looks so familiar for some reason. Didn't we have a very similar position in a previous broadcast at some point?
Uh,
Maybe I'm just. Hmm.
it was a bit similar, yeah, when black was some material up. Do you mean that game when queen f6 was threatening? well, never mind.
Yeah,
If you look
just
at this
like,
position,
yeah.
white is a pawn up, and I think white is clearly much better.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some tactics for black perhaps, but the queen, if it was on a4, then you would have gotten, yeah, a lot of nice ideas. But with the queen on h3, where it's misplaced, it's very hard to think of some active idea here.
Yeah, queen
Yeah,
d2
I
is
agree. Sorry.
possible, of course. Queen g2 is possible, threatening rook c2, but after queen g2, there is rook e2 or rook d2, and that's it. Queen will
And
just have
that's
to
it.
go back.
And the queen has to go back. Rook d2, queen h3. The queen is stuck on h3, and white can maybe start attacking on the king side a bit more. Or actually, after this, you can already win a second pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very good
Yeah.
for white. All right.
Next.
Let me see. I want to find one certain game because we've got. Oh yeah, let's take a look at Last Samurai or Samil Khan Ali Marandi. Yeah, we call him JJ. He's a streamer on for Chess.com on Twitch, so I wanted to pay a little attention to him. Here you go. He's had a quick draw, it seems, against for his team of Turkey, playing against the Chile team. So yeah, a quick draw there. Nothing much to add to that, I believe. I wanted to go to this game because it seems that Pia Cramling for Sweden is having a really interesting game. I have no idea what's going on. This is going to take a little time for me to process what's going on here. There's a knight on d8.
There is a knight on d8, white is exchange up, but black has a very strong pawn on e3, and the knight on d8 is like, a bit trapped. So to be honest, I am not sure about Pia's position. One more idea in case white plays. Is it white to move? Yeah, it's white to move. In case white goes rook 8 to d1, there is one little trick. Black can play knight b4, and the knight on c5 can't be taken because knight a2 will be actually the mate. Checkmate on the board.
Yep, true. So rook h d1, probably not the best move then. We need to trade some pieces here as white. I was actually considering a3 to stop knight b4 altogether, but then yeah, also not the best move because you got knight b3 idea now. So white's in trouble. I don't know what to play here.
Yeah.
Maybe try to kick the bishop away somehow. Maybe h3 and g4. But then the bishop can
Okay,
go to
let's say you
e4.
make two moves. Yeah, black goes bishop e4.
It's so hard here.
Mm.
What do you do after h3? What's the next move for black actually?
Bishop f6, threatening e6. Just
Oh,
an idea.
okay, let me play a normal move. Okay, hf1, e6, and the knight will be captured because you're attacking the rook and a knight as well. So this looks very, very good for black. Yeah. Okay, not looking good for Pia, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I think she has difficult times here.
Yeah. All right, let's find another big player. Pia Crumbling is, of course, a legend in the chess scene, in the female chess scene. So let's go and move over to Niels Grandelius. Niels Grandelius. I was actually hoping for a game where he would do well because he has been on the broadcast for us as well for a little interview. But this looks yeah, not a good moment to check his game actually. Yeah, white is clearly busted here. So Niels Grandelius has resigned against Alexander Indiich. Let's move on to another game. Hmm, trying to find something fun again. Okay, this looks kind of fun. Symmetrical position, but with some differences. So we are looking at Denmark versus Iceland. And I guess this is either the youth board or one of the two women's boards.
It's the women's board.
All right. So What I like about White's position is that White's got the rooks on active square as well. Black still has one rook that doesn't participate, and on the other hand, the king is also perfectly safe behind the pawns, while Black has already pushed a few pawns forward. So I think White is definitely a bit better, but what's your opinion here?
My opinion is that yeah, black's king is a bit weak after black played g6 f6. So if black manages to trade the queens, that would have been perfect for black because yes, then these moves f6 g6 they will not cause too much troubles. And actually, the pawn chain, the pawns on e5 and f6, they are like a nice rook versus the bishop on b2. So yes,
Mm.
if we go to an endgame, it would have been perfect for black. But with the queens on the board, it's not so clear. With the queens on the board, I actually prefer white side.
Yeah, me too. One really weird idea I'm having is just to play g4 and g5 and try to open up the position. But I think that my old coaches would be horrified if I even suggested this move. So yeah, you do see this sometimes, but not when the king is in front of the pawns. Otherwise, it would be an interesting idea to try and open up the king's position even more. But I think the way to play here, knight a6 has to be played, and then just try to enter the position somehow. Or actually, knight d5 might be better. Maybe a move like f4 is actually quite interesting. Or just maybe doubling the rook is better. Yeah,
I
maybe doubling the
prefer,
rook is a good
yeah,
idea.
doubling the rooks or okay, queen f3, queen f3.
Interesting. Probably a
Any
move like
threats?
queen f7.
After queen f3, the threat may be to go knight d6.
Oh, knight d6.
Um,
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna play rook. Whoops, rook a b8. Rook knight d6. Yeah.
uh, why not? Let's try
Mhm.
it.
All right. I guess I'll have to take the knight.
Rook d5. Yes,
Yes,
not like the thread, but just yeah, some
a
trade,
positional idea.
yeah, positional. But maybe there
Okay.
was something better than yeah, maybe
Yeah,
just to
good
take
move.
take on f6, right?
Now knight takes f6 maybe. Sort of the same position, but then you capture the f6 pawn more or less. Yeah. So we had the same idea.
That's that
Yeah.
sounds much better. That's why
All right.
queen f6 was actually a good move.
Yeah. Queen f7 played. Let's
Ah,
see.
queen f7, sorry.
Now rook c6. Putting some pressure here, but what do you do after a move like f5 now?
Hmm.
Mm,
f5 was
well,
played.
yeah, I'm wondering how White's going to continue here. Hmm. Okay, yeah, looks very messy at the moment. I was thinking maybe knight c5 would be good, but the rook on c6 looks a bit awkward here. Maybe black can somehow try to make use of that rook somehow, but I don't know. e4 looks very dangerous because of the bishop. I think white is still on the driving seat, but I don't know. Maybe there was something better for white at some point. Anyways, let's move on. But the results are dropping in, everybody. On the left, you can see some of the results that have already been decided. So, for example, Croatia doing very well against Guatemala with 3-0. They only need half a point for winning the match. Right,
Turkey
let's
is
move
also
on.
doing quite well. 2.5 to half.
Yep,
Good match for them.
absolutely. What about this? Ina
Uh,
Agrest versus Tijana Blagojevic.
Diana Blagojevic is a pawn up. But the pawn on a4 is under attack, so maybe what about just playing something like queen c2?
Yeah,
Because
so
queen c2
protecting
is,
everything.
yeah, that's also defending the pawn on d3.
Yeah, it looks good. Queen c2, and what is black gonna do? Well, that rhymed for some
Queen
reason.
b4,
Queen b4, trying to take this guy,
rook
and this
f1.
guy, by the way. I was actually going to suggest 92, but I saw it just in time. So probably
Not
rook
the
f1.
yeah, rook f1.
And uh, Maybe bishop d7.
Yeah, maybe c5 or...
Maybe c5 next. I'm not too sure if black is that much worse here. Seems to be more or less okay somehow. I guess this is the second women's board, if I'm not mistaken. So Pia Cramling on the first board, Ina Agrest on the second board. All right, looks very interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and pick some random games here. Okay, yeah. Wait.
This is a piece up for black. Looks very good. Also, the knight on h2 is under
Yeah, I
attack.
just there are so many pieces hanging, right? It's a bit hard to
Yeah, just give me
follow. King
the...
h7. Yeah, rook takes h2. King takes d2. Should be resignation time for white here. I think Matt Sanderson is just a full piece up at the moment.
Yeah,
Right?
just
I
knight
thought this.
d4
I'm sorry.
from that. Knight d4, threatening mate, or taking the c3 pawn. Yeah, totally hopeless for white.
Yeah, it looks very good. I thought this was very interesting, but it seems like it's just over. Okay, this looks cool. Queen takes e2 just placed, and now d2.
Some nice combination in the end from black side.
Yeah, looks like this is a board one, I think, of the Turkey versus Chile match. After d2, the rook has to go back to save the promotion. But then, yeah, let's put it on the board. d1 queen. Yes, everybody, I've got the queen as a pre-move, as a pre-move promotion. As you can see, what black will be a rook up, and it should be over. Okay, so let's move on to a more exciting game. This one looks... Okay. Looks over. The queen is attacking rook on c1. Black is a piece up. Okay. That's it. Let's see. Got an interesting rook ending here between Stephen Jessel against Eirik Gulaksen. Norway versus Ireland. Once again, Norway doing very well so far in the current standings. Do you think white has any winning chances here?
Do you have black has any win chances here?
Or black, yeah. Good question. I don't know. I think I like white at the moment because white has more space, the more active rook. Maybe a move like e4 would be a good idea. Try and break through.
But with e4, you will give more freedom to this rook from b6. When it comes to d6, it will be already kind of attacking the pawn on d4 or h4. Also reasonable to start moving that pawn now, so that if king goes to f3, then rook d6.
Yeah, it seems to be like... Yeah, it still seems to be a draw, yeah? I was trying to make something happen here for either player, but after king f3, rook d6, exactly like you mentioned. And if d5, simply rook b6, then this guy is going to be under attack. So yeah, this looks like a simple draw, not much going on here, I believe then. Okay, let's see if I can find something more interesting then. Nope. Nope.
No, this one.
This one maybe?
This one maybe, yes.
All right. Queen and rook ending.
With 2 pawns up. Queen e5
2
and rook
pawns
e7.
up. Yeah, this also looks already over. Queen f4, rook d7. Yeah, looks more or less over.
So yes, viewers, if you see some interesting game or some game you would like us to cover, please drop a comment in the chat and we will try to pay attention to that game. Do we have updates in the score? Yes, we do have some updates.
Hmm.
but obviously more games have been finished. Just we are waiting for the new results, new standings, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So I did find an interesting game that I don't think anybody is losing just yet, but it's looking closer and closer for black, I believe. Black is now pawned down. King is very weak, maybe h5 at some moment. I don't know. It looks very good for white, but like Anna said already, everybody, let us know if you have an interesting game that you want to take a look at, and we'll check that one, of course. There are 30 games being played. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find an interesting position, so you are very much welcome to help us out there. All right. Yeah. So Rook G3. The results: Croatia won in the end. Norway is winning in the end with 4-0, 4-0 so far. Uh, Serbia also 3-0 against Sweden, so that is not good for the Sweden team so far. Serbia doing, of course, very well. If they have 1/2 point more, then they will win the match. And also Turkey winning the match against Chile. So yeah, this is going very well. Some matches are already decided. And actually, let's stick to this game because we are closing in on the time trouble here, and I'm pretty curious to see how who will make the first mistake. I don't know. For example, I mean, you can make so many mistakes in positions like this. Like for example, if you, well, there you go.
It was black who
Oh,
was first with a mistake. I believe, yeah, now just queen g7. Oh, yeah. Rook h3 even better.
oh, that was so painful. Rook c2. Okay, rook. Sorry, I played ahead. So rook h3 was the mate after knight h4, and rook takes h4. But rook c2. I mean, that must have been a mouse slip, right? That's not a move that you play consciously. I mean, but how do you protect against the f7 pawn? Maybe you can play something like, I don't know, queen e1 check, king h2, and then rook f2, protecting everything, perhaps? Computer really
And
does
then
not
queen
like this.
h5 and rook, bishop f7.
Aha, there you go. Okay, and then after taking, queen takes g6, and this is very, very difficult for black. All right, so how did black needed to play against this? Maybe not rook, but queen f2. With the idea that after queen h5, bishop takes f7, you then have queen takes f7, and then the knight is protected like this. So maybe this is what black had to do, but once again, time travel is a big factor. So yeah, it's very easy to make mouse slips or bigger mistakes like that if you are a player in this event, of course. So all right, there are 3 games or 4 games. No, 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, left. So let's. Okay,
But
next.
as I see, all the matches are already decided. Norway beat Ireland. At the moment, it's 4-1. Croatia, Guatemala, at the moment, it's 5-0. Iceland won a match versus Denmark 4-2. Turkey beat Chile 4.5 to half at the moment. And Serbia beat Sweden 5-1. That's surprising. Serbia beat Sweden 5-1.
Yeah, Serbia has got a good lineup, by the way, and I also think that they have a very good score so far in the standings, I believe. But of course, we can check that later when we pull the standings up. Is this the last game played? No, we've got yeah, a very
Oh,
famous position left.
another technique of winning this rook endgame. Let's see if black will build the bridge,
All
so-called
right.
bridge
Yeah,
idea.
let's stick with this one for a little bit. It should be over very shortly.
Well, actually,
Um,
after rook a8, we don't need the bridge. We can just play rook h7, move with the king to h1.
yeah,
So white would rather keep its rook on the h file because that poses more problems.
yeah, exactly. So black also has a lot of time still on the clock, 1.5 minutes. So mouse slips probably not going to happen, but let's see if the techniques are coming in. So rook f2. Yeah, maybe black is going to go for the standard bridge approach instead. We'll just see. Yeah, so in the meantime, all the standings and the results are being updated, everyone. Rook F1. Okay, what do you do after Rook H2 or King E2?
King.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Black needs to find the right way still.
Let's see. Okay, Rook F5. This is the move in the right direction, and now let's see the bridge.
Yeah.
Rook E5, and now the king is moving.
Yeah. The king goes here, King F1. If the king goes here, then just make a little zigzag, build a bridge, and you win. All right, I have actually got 100% faith that Black is going to achieve that. So what I'm going to do is let's go on to a short break, everyone. And after the break, we actually have got, once again, a very nice guest surprise for you in store. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few seconds with a guest in the broadcast.
I am looking forward to this surprise. See you soon. Please don't leave because we are bringing you a very cool guest. Please prepare your questions, but at the moment I will not say for whom because it will be a surprise.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. We are back, and our surprise guest is none other than Pia Cramling. Welcome to the broadcast, Pia. How are you feeling so far about the games in the tournament?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. A little bit tired, and I actually have it very hot here at home. But it's okay. It's fine.
All right.
Yes, Pia, so nice to see you. I would actually like to hug you, but unfortunately I can't. Yes, I already miss, many women's chess players. So yeah, it was like unfortunate loss for you and for Swedish team altogether. Now it's a bit more difficult to be in the top 3. But I wish you good luck in the next matches, and I hope you will still fight for the best. Pia, how do you like this tournament? How do you like the system? And do you enjoy that, now the teams are composed of both men, women, junior boards, girls boards, or you would prefer to have a separate?
No, I think this is fantastic. I was very happy when I saw the way they put up the teams, that you have to have women, you have the junior girls, and I just think this is a very lovely way. So no, I'm very happy with that. I'm not so much, I play very little on online. So, but I thought when it's an online Olympiad, you have women, you have girls, you have everyone. So I thought I have to try and to play. So no, I really like it. And I think it's just a very good way to do it, just to have some little conversation for that we can go to the Olympiad this year, yes.
Yeah, just to remind our viewers, Pia Cramling, the former, the top player, top female player, you are world #1. You have been European champion. You are in chess for more than 50 years, I believe. So how do you keep this passion? Because, whenever I meet you, you are always ready to speak about chess and you like to discuss different positions. You're a real gem for our chess community.
Thank you. I keep on playing after all the years just because I enjoy so much playing. So this is why. And of course I know now with age I have to try to keep my energy. But as long as I enjoy playing and I can keep the energy, I will keep on. I will do that. But I will of course play a little less. But now I really miss the normal way to play, because for me this is very, very different. It's very difficult to play on the computer, but okay, we have to try it like that. But yeah, I hope I can be a model for elderly women, that you can keep on playing also even when age comes. Don't stop, as long as you like it, keep on. And I'm also very happy that FIDE made lots of new tournaments with time. We have these veteran tournaments, and you can see, for example, Swedish teams, they are going like, I don't know, 3-4 teams to the veteran tournaments. You have lots of ladies events. So it's improving. Yes, it's improving. And I think, yes, the tournaments are maybe more fun now than they were a long time ago in my youth.
Yeah, then maybe one last question, because I know that your daughter Anna is also a big streamer. She is also currently doing very well on Twitch. And I was also wondering, is she going to be a part of the Olympia team for Sweden at some point?
You mean here on the online? Actually, I don't know. This is actually between her and the captain. So I'm not really involved with it. So I don't know actually if she will be a part of the team tomorrow. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, I was actually asking in general, like, is she going to be a top player at some point, do you think? Like, does she have a lot of potential to grow?
By the way, sorry, Anna has already played in the Olympiad a couple of times. So
yeah.
No, she has played already two Olympiads. Yes, she played one Olympiad, and we played a European team. It was like this, and she'd been to all the Olympiads when she was even with us, even when she didn't play. Well, I thought you mean online Olympiad. I think actually Anna is now more focusing on streaming because she likes it so much. So I don't know if she's really want to put all her energy for being a strong player. I think just now she's more focusing on streaming, and maybe later on it will change. But I have always been very much on chess, not doing so much other things, but Anna has been all the time a very wide person. So I don't think Anna will become a top player, but I am sure she will be improved. She will become a stronger player, but she will probably do a lot of things in life. And I think for me, the most important is that she does what she really likes more than anything.
All right. Yeah. And then with that, actually a quick shout out to Anna Cramling. everybody follow her channel on Twitch. She's a lovely streamer. Yeah, check out her channel and for a lot of chess fun. So yeah, thank you once again for coming here, Pia. It was a pleasure to have you here, and of course, the best of luck with the future in the next 3 rounds, of course, with the Sweden and in the Olympiad.
Thank you so much. It was very nice to be with you. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, everybody, and we are back. Of course, we just had a lovely guest, Pia Cramling, absolutely a chess legend in, yeah, for 4 years actually. So that was lovely to have her on the broadcast for a few minutes there. Let's take a look at, of course, we still have some results and standings that we need to show you. So let's quickly take a look. We have Pool D here. Pool D is now finished. All the 6 rounds are done for today. So next tomorrow, that's the next day, they are gonna play the last 3 rounds. But so far, the standings are Turkey, Norway, and Serbia. Wow, they are all on 100% score so far. So tomorrow will be a blast because then they will probably have to face each other. And Croatia and Sweden, well, Sweden not so much, but Croatia still has a slight chance maybe to qualify at some point. But so far it seems like Turkey, Norway, and Serbia will qualify for the next division. We'll see everything tomorrow, of course. And here we have also some individual results for you that our producer Simon put together. It took some work, but it is lovely to see the individual results. So for Pool D, Ekaterina Talik from Turkey is the best scoring player so far in Pool D with 100% score, 6 out of 6. And second is Elham Abdullah with 4 out of 4. Yeah, this is a lovely card. And actually, that will be it for now. We will come back shortly, and then we will, of course, discuss the progress of Pool E. We missed there a round, but we'll get you updated after our short break. And so don't go anywhere. Grab some popcorn once again, and we will be back shortly.
Yes, we'll be back very soon, and 2 rounds on Pool E are awaiting you. So see you soon. Stay tuned.
Welcome everybody, and we are back
We
with
are
of
live.
course we are live. I know that, yeah, with more coverage, of course, of the 2020 Online Olympiad. My name is still Roland, and her name is of course still Anna. Welcome, Anna. We are back, of course, with more coverage of actually Pool E. We've got one pool to go. We've been covering the whole 2020 Olympiad throughout the day, and we are almost done. We are closing with, oh no, yeah, with Pool E. We are here with round 8. That's the round that we are going to cover, but we of course also have to check the previous results. So here you go. We've got round 4 of Pool E, and after that we are going to check round 5, of course. So in round 4, Ecuador won 5-1 against Scotland. England won 4.5, 1.5 against Montenegro. Hungary won 5-1 against Colombia, and Bolivia lost 1-5 to Argentina, and Costa Rica made a draw 3-3 against Mexico. So yeah, those are the results of round 4. Let's now check the standings before we move on. Hungary, Ecuador, and England doing very well with 100% score, 8 out of 8. And the next one is actually Argentina and Colombia, both with 4 points. So those 3 teams, Hungary, Ecuador, and England, are prone to move on to the next division so far. Okay, then of course, one last thing, and that is round 5. What can we see in round 5? Let's take a look. Mexico versus Ecuador, Argentina, Costa Rica, Colombia, Bolivia, Montenegro, Hungary, and Scotland versus England. Well, Scotland versus England, that's an interesting one. 2 neighbors facing off against each other. Do you think there's some rivalry there, Anna?
I don't think, at least not in chess. And one more funny thing, I just saw, Hungary. Yeah, they are on the first place. They are sharing the top place. They are sharing the first place. But all the matches they won with the same score, 5-1. You see, stability.
Oh, wow. That is stability. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even realize that. 5-1. Well, what
That's
are
why
the
you have
odds
me.
to?
I can bring you some new results.
Yeah. All right. Of course, we are waiting for the games to start. And let me see if I can find some already. I think we are already a little bit into the game. So here they are coming. And actually, let's start just with the first position that I can find, which is Luis Fernando Ibarra from Mexico versus Carlos Matamoros from Ecuador. There you
Actually,
go.
this match, maybe it's not so clear. Well, Ecuador is the favorite, but this match, Ecuador may have some problems to win this match. Let's see. Let's see the games.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's first talk about this position then. So yeah, white has played d4 and black just said, okay, I don't care. I'm just going to play b6. Um, is that maybe a concession for black to allow a pawn to be on d4? Because usually you don't want to let white gain too much space in positions like this. d5 might be an option, maybe even followed by a 4 at some point. I mean,
Yes, I don't
usually you
like
want to
b6
take
so
it.
much. I would prefer to take on d4 first because, yeah, d5 sounds like some problem. Just look at this c7 knight after d5. This is one problem, and another problem is that it's not so clear where to move the c6 knight after d5.
Yeah, usually you want to go to e5, right? But after b3, well, actually, maybe it's okay because after b3,
3,
I was thinking maybe
b5, f4.
b5 would be okay. Then f4. It's a
Knight
pity that all the
d7.
pieces are being brought back to the happy 7th and 8th screen.
But okay, maybe some counterplay with b takes c4, then knight b6, bishop a6. Some typical ideas.
Yeah, maybe it's not so bad, yeah?
Maybe it's
So,
not
yeah,
so horrible. Maybe it's just slightly worse for black.
maybe that's all, yeah. It seemed very, very bad after 95. And after d5, Yeah, it's not that clear yet. Yeah, maybe b6 is just a very good move, and d5 might not actually be the best. Maybe it's just better to play a move like rook c1. Just
Rook
to,
c1 sounds very healthy. Why not?
yeah, and if you take knight takes, this is the position that black wanted to avoid. So, yeah, you can be certain that this should be at least very much okay.
Maybe in case of rook c1, black may think about playing e5, and then after d5 to bring the knight to d4.
Ah, this is a good move, yeah. Very typical idea. d5, knight d4. With a good knight, actually a good knight, not a bad knight. Here you go. So,
Not good knight, but good knight.
yeah, a good knight. So, no, this is a bad knight. This is a good knight. Here you go. And so, there you go again. Okay, yeah. So the knight on d4 is very hard to push away. That knight's going to be more like yeah, a very strong piece that can help black maybe put some extra pressure on the white position with either f5 or b5. So yeah, this looks okay for black actually. I didn't see this e5 move, so maybe b6 is just a very, very clever move in a position like this. Okay,
Okay, there are schemes like f4, and well, there are many possibilities for white. It's just the opening phase. So, but white is taking. White is spending quite a lot of time there. They have only 6 minutes left, while black still have 13. And yeah, we see rook c1, e5 played on the board. D takes e5, and now I believe black's idea was actually very cool because yes, white didn't bring the knight to d5, but black got a very nice square on d4, so knight e6, and bring the knight to d4 or knight d4 immediately. Then it looks just good for black, not better, but just good.
yeah, looks okay at least. And okay, small question: is this a good move or not?
But we have to calculate. I mean, we have been streaming since morning and you want me to calculate bishop h3 consequences. Come on, be nice.
All right, I won't ask you. Queen e2, the idea was maybe bishop takes h3 is very good. With
Yeah,
the
but
idea
knight
bishop takes,
d4.
yeah, but we have to calculate bishop takes d4 and knight takes d4 move. So this is actually more complicated than it looks. That's why. Yeah, it might be a
But
bit too much.
please have in mind this trick bishop h3, don't miss such things
Yeah,
because it's a typical trick.
yeah, exactly. So, okay, let's move on to another game. Yeah, why not? I'm just gonna go further along the line with the Mexico-Ecuador match. Um, yeah, another sort of London system setup, but only this time with the bishop on b2. Who's better and why? I like white's domination with the knight on e5, but black is gonna play knight e4 at some point, so this should be very good for. This should be okay for black at least, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if black should play e6 or they can play bishop b6, bishop b7 directly, or maybe even the idea of bishop f5. That's also not so bad. Maybe not so bad, yeah. Yeah, we get this e4 square. Maybe bishop f5 is actually the best move in the position.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, the one thing that made me become a bit of a liability this pawn is that maybe white can start playing g4, king h1, rook h1, perhaps, with ideas over the g file. But I think it should be okay. Yeah, yeah, I like bishop f5 as well. Yeah, if you play e6, like you said, then the bishop is gonna go to b7, but the bishop is looking at its own pawn on d5, so. It might be okay still, but bishop f5 looks a lot cleaner than e6 there. So, all right. So, yeah, let's wait and see a little bit what black is going to do. So yeah, I was right. It's going to rain outside now. So I'm happy that I closed the windows actually. All
Some
right.
heavy rain outside.
Yeah.
We hope everything will be okay, not like some storming.
Yeah, I'm so happy it's raining though. It's been so hot lately in the Netherlands that a little bit of a breeze, a little bit of water would be good for the whole country, more or less. So, yeah, there you go. C4 played, knight e4 played instead of your bishop f5, c4, undermining the knight on e4. I feel like black is actually simply in the driver's seat here. White, sorry, white is in the driver's seat here. Maybe f5.
Yes, I didn't like knight e4 and bishop b7 setup because knight, okay, it's nicely played on e4, but after c4, you know, the fate of this knight on e4 is not so clear. And yes, white will play rook c1 now or later on. The queen on c7 is also a bit awkwardly placed. I do believe black had to do something else, but I think they lost the thread a little bit.
I think
Not
so
like.
too. I really liked your bishop f5 idea much more than this. This looks very, very dangerous for black here. All right,
What about some
so
other games?
yeah, absolutely. Let's move on. So this is a game, this is board three. So Martha Fierro versus Xenia Corrales. Let's take a look. Look, see. This is what strikes me so far. Undeveloped pieces on the queen side for white, undeveloped pieces for on the queen side for black. But yeah, white decided to take the knight on d5 here.
Why?
I don't know why. I
Uh,
mean, you can still protect the 5 pawn with a move like f4, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure why f4 was not a good move here.
why f4 was not a good move? Who told you it was not a good move? Maybe it was a good move.
Well, the white player decided not to play it and bishop takes d5, so maybe there was a reason why she didn't play f4. But who knows? I guess you like f4 then? Better than bishop takes d5?
I don't like bishop d5 so much because I don't like to give this bishop. Okay, the knight on d5 was very active, but after bishop d5, black gets an active bishop on d5, and black gets the two-pair bishop advantage, and also the bishop, it was kind of under attack when it was on e6, but now on d5, the bishop just has a perfect square. So I would, you know, if I played with white pieces, I would try to do my best, but not to play bishop d5. Maybe I am wrong. I can also be wrong. But just, you know, at first sight, it's not the right decision.
Yeah, I agree there. The bishop is looking very strong, and I also liked actually the option to take on e6 at some point, maybe to, yeah, to destroy black's pawn structure a little bit like this. So after f4, knight d7 is probably a good move, but then, I don't know, maybe just something like knight d2, or just take, and maybe, now this is maybe a bit dangerous, because then you can, then black's gonna get some initiative over the f-file. Maybe just a move like bishop e3, I don't know. Maybe this is even okay. It's actually, this is more tough than I imagined. Maybe the knight d2, knight c4 is an idea, but what I'm a bit worried about is knight c5 coming into play, or actually
The
knight
pawn
d2
was
loses a
hanging.
pawn. So how is white going to continue playing here? Maybe c4 or something, but it's more
I'm
difficult
not
than I
so
thought.
sure actually about f4. Maybe we could do something without playing f4 because f4 is weakening the king a little bit.
So
Not sure. Yeah,
knight,
because if we play rook e1, then knight d7 is coming. Yeah, so maybe it's not the best.
yeah, so maybe I like f4,
You know,
but after knight, yeah.
maybe just sacrifice this pawn. Maybe just play knight d2. You know, forget about this pawn.
Just knight d2 right here. Might be okay. Queen
Okay,
takes.
queen takes e5, queen takes e5, bishop e5, take on e6, then go knight c4 or knight f3 and get some easy play.
This looks okay for white, at least, yeah. But I underestimated black's position a little bit. I thought that it should be quite easy for white to play, but it seems that it's not. It's pretty hard to come up with a good plan here. So yeah, okay. But white decided to play. Let's see, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, and now f4. So yeah, white could have at least played that maybe one move later. Yeah, e6. Well, actually, maybe now c4 ideas are in the air.
Also, I'm not sure about e6. Maybe some ideas like knight d7 and actually f6 opening the g7 bishop, because with the pawns on e5 and f4, the bishop on g7 is a bit sad. But after we go f6, we open it and then we get the happy bishop.
Happy bishop. Like this, yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. A green color. There you go. Yeah. All right. Enough about this game. I think we've talked enough about this. This looks very interesting. But let's move on to another game. So yeah, let's just finish the Mexico-Ecuador match. And this is board 4, I think, the second women's board. And we have an interesting position here where White manages to play e5, which is usually a big thing in positions like this, but it currently is pinned because the c3 pawn is hanging. So, not sure what to make of this. Very complicated position again.
Yes, I was thinking about playing c4 to strengthen the center, but c4 has a drawback then that there is knight b2, actually attacking the rook on d1 and attacking the pawn. So
Ah, that's true. And it's
strategically
actually,
speaking,
yeah,
c4 is quite good, but tactically maybe it falls into some traps.
yeah, it's
Rook
actually,
a1.
yeah, it's actually black to move right here. The last move was queen d2. So
Oh,
with that in mind, do you think that knight b2 is anyways a good move? Because then you can move the knight to c4.
let's calculate knight b2, rook b1, let's say, knight c4. Then white can go to e2 or d3. Yeah, knight e5. Looks more or less equal.
Yeah, it looks all right. Black can take here if he wants, but then we take the 7 pawn. I think as all these trades are just about equal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree there. Is there anything else that black can do maybe to try and win? Well, let's say I play a move like simple chess, like rook f b8. Is there a way for white to
Can I
continue?
take on d6?
I was
You take on
thinking not
c3?
because of bishop takes c3 or knight takes c3,
But
but
I was
maybe it's
calculating
possible.
some crazy line like bishop c3, queen e2. If you take on e1, then I take on e7.
And then you start pushing like this. I'm not so sure what the computer has in mind because this looks, bishop takes b8 is actually a big threat here. So if you move like this, then bishop takes b8 is already winning for white. Because then after rook takes, e8 queen, and it should be over. All right, so yeah, maybe he takes d6 is just a very unpleasant threat. You could take back like this, of course, but then white can take the pawn, and it should be a very messy game then, yeah. Maybe the best way for black to play is just to play knight b2, like you said, and then just enjoy the equal ending, I guess. Has any move
Yeah,
been
maybe.
played? Knight b2 is
Maybe.
actually on the board.
Also, rook d8 was another possibility.
Rook d8, yeah,
F d8,
and
protecting the
then
pawn.
takes this. I like that move, yeah. Yeah, okay, knight b2 on the board instead, and it should be. Yeah, we're probably going to see all the exchanges that we saw before. Right, moving on. Let's move on to the youth board in the Ecuador-Mexico match. And another Banco. This is maybe the
Benko day.
opening that we've seen the most in the previous rounds as well. There are always some slight differences in these openings. You don't always get the same type of position. What is
But
going
now
on
black
here?
got more counterplay if we compare this game to the previous game we were covering, in this game we see that rooks are on b4 and a6, queen on a8, so black is putting some pressure over the a and b files. So computer may actually say, okay, very cool, I'm happy about your rooks, but white is a pawn up. While in fact it's not so easy for white to play. I don't want to say white is not better. Actually, white is better because in the worst case they will later on push e5 and they will at least have a slight edge, but it's not so easy to win this game, not so easy to convert this material advantage.
I agree, and my producer jokingly told me that this is once again not a Benko, it's a King's Indian. This was a bet I had before with my producer, and he told me once again, no, this is not a Benko, this is once again starting from a King's Indian, as you can see.
Yeah,
So
but we're
what's the
speaking about the
difference?
type of the structure, not about the opening, and it's definitely more likely it's a Benko pawn structure rather than King's Indian pawn structure.
Yeah, I keep falling for that one. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. This is why I'm very bad with bets. It's actually a saying on the chess.com notation that is actually a King's Indian attack, but I just assume that it's a Benko for some reason. All right, but yeah, like you said, let's move on, of course, to the current position. You were absolutely correct. Oh no, 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 no. We've got it on the board. We've got it
What?
on the board. Finally. What's
Oh,
this? What's this? What's this?
formation. No, speak about this formation.
What is this, Anna? Please explain to us what this construction is.
You know better because I have already been explaining this construction for our viewers. Now it's your turn.
All right. Yeah, we've been joking about this for so long, everybody, that we have been explaining this construction, and it's actually called the Alekhine gun. And it took us a while for it to get actually on a real board. The queen behind the rooks on a file, and that is supposed to be very good because because the rook, well, it's just better. Yeah, it's just better. I have a hard time explaining this right now.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
try to do it better. Yeah, when you are trying to attack a pawn on the open file, it's better to keep your queen behind the rooks because this way it's more likely you will reach the target. And yeah, this was like a short explanation. And if you'd
Yeah.
like to go for a long explanation, do check our previous videos to see what that means.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm so happy we finally got this on the board. Yeah, the Alekhine gun, something that we have been talking about for a long time already. All right, Queen C3 on the board. Actually, in this position, I'm not exactly sure that it's a good one because the A3 pawn is well protected by the knight on C4. So Black needs to somehow try and exchange that knight somehow. But now, if Black is going to do that, then White is maybe able to answer something in the center with a move like E5. Maybe even White has time to play something like F4 or F5. What do you think?
Even some ideas with g4 coming to my mind, and not in this position, but yeah, we have to be careful because look, all black's pieces, they went to the queen side while the king may feel lonely. And if we open the attack on the king side with a better control over the center, white has pawns on d5 and e4. That means the space advantage, and white has more space. They can quicker bring the pieces into the other side. So yeah, please be careful with
Yeah,
such
maybe
ideas.
Rook E3 at some point. That's also sometimes an idea. I don't know. I think that White is very comfortable. I think White, like you said, the pieces are also over here, so it should be very nice for White to try and get an initiative on the king side. All right,
Yes,
let's
what
move
about the
on.
next games? Let's try to cover some other positions too, some
Yeah,
other games.
of course. So we've got Leonardo da Vinci, as I like to call him, against Pablo Ismael Acosta. So this is Thailand, I believe, Costa Rica, apologies, versus Argentina. And yeah, the first board, They are, of course, struggling in this pool, but yeah, maybe they can turn it around in this match. Let's take a look.
Not so sure. I think, yeah, Leonardo da Vinci, as you call him, has difficult times. The bishop on a3 is almost trapped. White is a pawn up, and yeah, the king on f7 is not so safe. So yeah, Rook d6 is coming. Not now because queen is under the attack, but we will move the queen somewhere. Let's say to where? To c2? To
I
a1.
guess a1 is the preferred move here. To
And
the
Rook
a3.
d6 now.
Yeah, Rook d6 also looks very good, of course. Trying to take the queen e6. I think queen a1, the idea was to play a3 and trapping the bishop.
Maybe. Maybe
Not
yes,
very.
but a4, a takes b4, a takes b3, b5, yeah.
Looks devastating to me. All right, looking good for Leonardo da Vinci. Let's take a look. There are, of course, some more games going on. What's the other interesting match? I would like to see England versus Scotland for a little bit. Let's see if I can find some games there. And of course, I also want to check the board one. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let's also take a look at Jovanka's game actually, but maybe we are really quick with our analysis here because looks very good for white, but maybe black can hold this, right?
Maybe yes, but with the pawn on a4. If black manages to trade these pawns, I mean a4 pawn for b6 pawn, then of course it's a draw. But with these pawns, it's still not so clear.
Yeah, maybe Jovanka will keep this to a draw. All right, let's move back. I want to check the board one between England and Scotland. So that should be, well, actually, maybe not board one, I think, but well, actually, maybe it is. It's David Howell with the white pieces, of course. 2,700 player playing for England, playing against Declan Shafri from Scotland. And I think David is doing pretty well. I feel like a knight b5 move would be very good, even knight rook c1. It's especially this d5 square. Well, there you go. And maybe even knight b5 and knight d6 at some point. But this looks extremely comfortable for white. Black is being pushed back in a few moves, I believe. And then, yeah, maybe even a move like bishop a3, trying to undermine the c5 knight at some point. Looks all pretty good. What are your first thoughts on this position?
Oh, my thoughts were that I was checking the chat. I saw some people subscribed to Chess.com. I also saw that now there is 20% off. You can get 20% off for subscriptions, I think, to all the Chess.com channels. So please support the channels. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And if we speak about the position, I think the knight on d5. Yeah, I saw that you were mentioning all these ideas and the strong knight on d5. It's really good. I believe white is pressing a bit. Bring another knight to d5. Cool idea. Bishop a3. And now, yeah, we have to move the bishop from to move the rook from b1. But do we need to move the rook? Can we actually? Or bishop c5? I think about some knight b6 or rook b6 ideas. Could we do that?
Rook takes b6. Wow, okay.
A takes b6, knight b6, queen somewhere, bishop c5. Maybe there is a trick with bishop h6.
Ah.
Queen a3.
Maybe.
Or where? Or what? Or I don't know.
No, I'm trying to find something for white here, but for example, takes, and now, no, not knight d7, but I don't know. Wow.
f6. So maybe queen a3. Maybe let's leave this bishop on c5.
Okay. Exactly where?
Bishop h6, queen a3.
Ah, queen a3 simply. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You do have rook d8 then.
Mm-hmm. Knight d5.
Yeah, this looks brilliant for white. Wow, rook takes b6. That's a nice move here. Wow, that could maybe be a winning move actually. After queen c7, bishop takes c5 here. There's no
Maybe do
way
you
that
have
black can
anything
do anything against this, yeah?
after knight b6? Maybe some move like rook d8 immediately. Can you play it?
Okay.
Rook takes
95.
d8. Ah, knight d5 want to go there.
The calculation is so hard, of course. Let's see. Yeah, but interesting suggestion. Let's just leave it at that. David did not do that. David decided to go for bishop takes c5, b takes c5, and rook b7. That's actually
Seven.
quite clever. Yeah.
Queen
If you
takes
take,
b7, knight f6. That was the idea. Knight e7 is the threat, and pawn on a7 is hanging, so maybe it was just something, easier and more effective.
yeah, this looks like a very good idea for black. Yeah. Still, I was a bit surprised because the bishop looks pretty nice here on a3. So you can also always exchange on c5, but once again, if you have a concrete reason to do this, then why not just go for it, you know? Yeah, looks very, very good for white, and the results are actually dropping in. So we'll try to keep you updated, of course, on the left side of the board where the results will come, yeah, on the score sheet. So keep that score sheet in mind. Yeah, let's move to board two. I think this is, well, this is not board two, by the way, but I cannot find board two at the moment. So Jovanka still holding her own, it seems. She's defending like a lion, like the London
So
Lions.
she
And
defended this position, yeah? It was not so clear.
yeah, so a knight versus a rook. This looks,
Well,
yeah,
now it looks quite drawish.
yeah, I agree there. White, I don't even see an idea for white. White probably needs to bring the king somewhere, maybe even all the way over here, but that would it be a bit far.
But yeah, it's too long and and,
Yeah, let's just move
and
here
maybe
as
it
well.
simply
Why not?
doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
Okay,
having
Roland,
some
be
fun.
serious, please. Please be serious.
Of course. Yeah, so this is looking like a draw, I guess, for Jovanka. Let's take a look if we can find something interesting. This looks like a fun position between Isaac and Marlon from Mexico versus Ecuador, this match. Knight b7 played. There's a knight on f1. Um, I have a hard time trying to make something out of this. Would you? I think I would really consider just taking here on e3. No, wait, I'm blind. I thought that after rook takes, queen takes, you actually have bishop d4 winning the queen, but that would not be a good move because you can simply take.
Not the best idea.
Not the best idea. No, then taking on a3 is probably not the best idea in general. Maybe some in between move like knight d2 would be interesting. Bishop
Meanwhile,
takes.
Argentina is already winning by 5-0. Can you imagine?
I don't have to imagine. It's simply on the score sheet. Yeah. So, yeah, the results are getting updated. Don't worry, everybody. It's going to show, of course, on the score sheet on the left at some point. But it seems that Argentina is doing very well so far with 5-0. All right.
Let's go. Let's go forward. So what about this position? Knight
Yeah.
e3 we can't play. So let's just move the queen somewhere to d7, to f6, to h4. If
This
but it
looks
just
so
looks not good
dangerous.
for white, yeah.
This looks absolute. So why is the computer saying that this is good for black? We are missing something,
Computer
something.
things.
Very good here for black, it seems. Um,
Knight
I
e3,
thought,
knight d8. Bishop d4 does not work because we don't have a good discover check. Yes, so not like that. Maybe. I don't know. Knight
it's very
d2,
hard, isn't
bishop
it?
d2,
I
and
was
then
thinking maybe knight d2 would be clever, but
but maybe it's really clever. Let's try knight d2. If bishop d2, then queen b6, but just c5. Or
yeah, maybe just c5. Yeah, I thought maybe taking or bishop d, maybe just taking. Nah, bishop d4 perhaps, and then after bishop e3. Nah, this can't be it, right? Is this it?
bishop d5
Because
maybe now. No, but bishop d5.
oh,
Okay, the queen is under the attack.
yeah, unfortunately. All right, let's say that this position is simply dynamically balanced or just unclear. So yeah, but it looks like a lot of fun. I'm wondering what the players have chosen to play. So 92 is actually on the board, takes queen b6, and now this is on the board. And actually, they are both closing in on time trouble. So I suggest we to take a look at this game because I think fire is going to heat up. Unless, of course, black cannot find an answer to, okay, never mind, king h1 on the board. That is not a move I would play because after bishop d4, black has got nice control over the squares in the center, and the knight on b7 looks a bit awkward there right now. No, I really don't like king h1. I think white should have played something like bishop e3 and c5, like we suggested, yeah. So now
Because
black's chances are pretty good.
yeah, the bishop on d4 is blocking everything, and now it's very difficult to advance with c5. So I agree with you. I preferred to play bishop e3 or c5 because with these moves it was easier, to push c5,
Yeah.
d4, all these moves we need.
Still, it looks like white has 3 pawns, but actually it's not. It's actually 2 pawns because white is missing a g pawn as well. But yeah, rook e8, I like that move, simply to play something like bishop d7. But I like what white is doing, just waiting for a little bit to see what black is going to do. Bishop d7, threatening bishop c6 perhaps at some point. Okay, white takes off one rook. Rook takes e8 most likely. The knight on
Maybe
b7 still
actually,
looking stuck. Wait, am I missing something? What is here?
no, I wanted to say something about the position a few moves before when the bishop was on e6, and I was like, no. Instead of king h2, I thought about rook e6 sacrifice. I don't know if it worked.
Oh, that looks always very interesting. Yeah, I guess.
So I was
Rook
calculating some
X.
line like rook e6, d7, in case of yeah, rook moves somewhere. And then maybe
D8.
d8, I'm not sure, maybe queen d5.
It still might be okay for white, but it's a bit of a pity that the d6 pawn is gone. So
No, we have to keep this pawn on the board. Okay, let's try to follow the game
yeah,
because
let's try it.
players are in a deep time trouble and things are changing very quickly.
Okay.
Okay, now
That escalated
now black is
quickly.
winning.
Now black is absolutely winning a piece in the process. Be a bit careful about bishop c3. It should not be, well, queen d8 might be a very easy solution here, actually. Yeah. Okay, black is a little bit in time trouble. Let's see if she, or if he can
But
actually
it's the force
find
mate. Queen f3 and queen f2, or
queen
yeah, queen
h2,
f2,
bishop g2,
queen
bishop
f2,
g2
king
looks,
g4, h5,
okay,
maybe not h5.
this is
Maybe
good enough.
bishop f3, and yeah.
Yeah, bishop f3, queen g3. All right, well, that was exciting. This was one, actually, this is also one of the last games that's still going on. Yeah, let's wait for the queen h5 move, the crown, the cherry on top of the cake. All right, this is over. One last game to go. Here we go. Oof. We're now
That
going to
doesn't
have a discussion. Are there fortresses? Is a fortress possible? Because absolutely, Carlson doesn't believe in fortresses. So yeah, but do we have one here? Can we make some argument for that white does have a fortress, or can we just say, nah, black is going to win this, no matter what? What do you
I
think?
don't think I don't think white can build any kind of fortress. The knight has to retreat back to e1. Then queen h1 is coming, queen g1, just win the g3 pawn and h4 pawn. Yeah, it's just everything's collapsing. That's why white resigned. They preferred not to suffer any longer.
Yeah, I agree. You could maybe try and hold this, but if the g3 pawn falls, then also the h4 pawn will fall, and then the h pawn will start running. It should be a very easy win for black indeed. So yeah, that means that we've actually, I don't see any games anymore. So these are all the games. All the games are done. So let's take a quick look at current results on the left side, everybody. So that means Argentina is has won with 5-0. That's the only update we've got. And also Hungary winning the match with 4-0. So those are the only decisive results that we've got so far.
I
So
think I
yeah,
have the result of all the matches. Yeah. Mexico. I told you, Mexico beat Ecuador 3.5 to 2.5, and I think this is the biggest surprise of this match.
oh wow.
Argentina beat Costa Rica 5 to 1. Colombia beat Bolivia. The moment is 4-1. Maybe we don't have the result of the last game, but anyway, it's already the win for Colombia. Hungary already beaten Montenegro 5-0. One game is still, no, the game is already finished, but we don't have the result updated. And England beat Scotland 4.5 to 1.5. That's it. That's
All
it.
right.
And that means that Hungary is still on the top. England is also sharing the first place. And Ecuador is 2 points behind now after losing to Mexico.
All right, so those are the results. Of course, we are also going to show that to you on an official card. Oh, and actually, we've got them already on the left side. So if you want to recheck them, then there you go. I think that Mexico, Ecuador, is like you said, that's a big surprise. Ecuador, one of the leaders, one of the 100% teams in this pool yet, and they lost their match against Mexico. So Mexico doing a good job making things exciting in this pool. Yeah, furthermore, I think most of the results are not a big surprise, I would say. England beating Scotland, not a big surprise. England is actually one of the favorites in this pool. Hungary, also one of the favorites, beating Montenegro. Yeah, well, I'm hoping that this poll at least can provide us with some excitement. So far, it's looking like the three teams that are going to qualify are more or less already decided. Everybody, more on that, of course, when we've got the standings for you. But in general, I think, yeah, let's talk a little bit about yeah, the event itself, of course. I mean, we are now in round five of Pool E. Is there a country in this pool that you see going the distance? Like, do they actually have a shot to become maybe champion of this whole Olympiad? What do you think, Anna?
For becoming the champion, I don't believe because there are so strong teams like Russian team and Chinese team who are already in the top division. So yeah, to become the champion, I think there are stronger teams, but anything can happen. Maybe if you speak about being in the top three, I think, for example, England, it's not clear. They did very well on at World Tip Championship. So
Yep.
I think they finished second on the last one, so they have potential to be in top three.
Mhm.
But to win, I'm not sure. And one more thing I like to mention, we have got a raid and we have to thank Grandmaster Robert Hess for raiding us with a party of 506 people. Thank you so much, Robert. I hope you had a nice stream before that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Robert, of course. And yeah, indeed, hope you had a nice stream. And yeah, of course, Yeah, I'm not sure what time it is in the States, but I think it's the afternoon, so have a good afternoon, of course. So yeah, actually, I think we've got the results updated in the standings as well. So let's take a look at the standings. Like we said, we've got Hungary and England still with 100% score, but Ecuador losing their match against Mexico, that was kind of an upset in the last round. So they are not on 100% score anymore. Still doing well, of course, in this pool, but they have to suffer one loss there. Argentina, Colombia, they are doing still okay. Mexico as well, but Scotland, Bolivia, Costa Rica, Montenegro, they seem out of the race for qualification for the next division. So yeah, it will be between the top 6 teams so far who will qualify for the next division. Let's take a look once again. One of our producers has made a very nice individual scorecard that you can now also see for the Pool E section. So as you can see, the Ecuador team still having I think Ecuador and Colombia, I get those flags confused a little bit sometimes.
It's
So
Ecuador.
Ecuador, I think, is Martha Fierro. She is
Ecuador.
currently the leader with 5 out of 5, 100% score so far. So congratulations to her. And yeah, also, of course, to Ana Paula and Candela from Argentina, doing very well, 4.5 out of 5 in this pool so far. So they are doing absolutely great for their teams so far. All right, and with that, actually, everybody, we are gonna go on a short break, and of course, we will be back more with the final result today of Pool E. Don't go anywhere. Stretch your legs. Give your dog or cat some food, or grab some food yourself. Actually, of course, maybe a drink, maybe a beer, maybe a wine, whatever you prefer. And we'll be back shortly with more chess of Pool E in the Online Olympiad Division 2.
Yeah, it will be a short break. We will be back very soon. See you all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another 2020 Olympiad, of course. I'm still Roland, and of course, next to me is still Anna Zichuk. We've had such a long day of fun games and interesting games to look at. Are you still fired up for discussing the last round, Anna?
Sure, I'm still here. Hello, everyone. Hello to all the new viewers, and hello to everyone who kept on watching our stream for a longer period. I'm Grandmaster Anna Muzichuk together with Grandmaster Roland Provisors, and we are covering Division 2 of FIDE Online Chess Olympiad. And now it will be the last round for today for Pool B, and we are excited to start. We are ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to dive into the games shortly. Let's take a quick look at what all of how the, all the countries that are participating in Division Two, all the countries that we saw flew by today, and of course that are also going to fly by tomorrow. Of course, you're going to stay tuned tomorrow because everything that we just did today, we're also going to do tomorrow. Pool A, Pool B, Pool C, Pool D, Pool E, everything is going to come online tomorrow as well. So let's take a look at the divisions here. We've got the Netherlands, we've got Turkey, we've got Greece, we've got Australia, we've got the Philippines, we've got all sorts of countries participating in this division. But of course, right now we're going to take a look at Pool E, and these are the current standings. We've shown this to you, I think, before our little break as well, but here we go again. Hungary, England, Ecuador looking very good, but Ecuador losing in the last round against Mexico, and that makes, especially for place three, very exciting. Who will qualify for the next round? The top three will qualify to the top division. Okay, of course, you are very curious about the next round. Who will face each other? And actually, we've got a clash of giants against each other. It's the Fire Titan against the Water Titan. It will be England versus Ecuador. That will be a very exciting match to follow, right, Anna?
Of course, I think that it's the top match of this round. And in case England beats Ecuador, they will advance to the top division for sure. Okay, almost
Or
for sure.
almost, yeah, almost for sure. It should be very unlikely that England will not qualify after.
Yes, but in case Ecuador beats England, then things, then the waters will be very murky. I don't know what to expect. Then it will be very unclear.
Don't pay attention to my analogies. Those are very often just very bad. So Hungary, Scotland, we've got Bolivia, Montenegro, Costa Rica, Colombia, Mexico, Argentina. Mexico creating an upset in the last round. Can they keep up the pace by beating Argentina as well? Also an interesting match to follow. Hungary, Scotland. It should be Hungary with the clear favorite there. With the clear, yeah, they are the clear favorite in that match. So yeah, I say let's dive into the games and let's find some Ecuador-England games. I'm very interested to see who will be board one. And actually, it's Mr. England himself, Mr. Mickey Adams, playing on board one against Carlos Matamoros. So I don't recognize this opening at all. So let's take a look at the beginning moves. Or do you already have an idea how this occurred, Anna? Maybe.
Uh, some English or something. How to do it? I don't know. Yeah,
All right.
English. Okay,
Take
the
a look.
structure was more or less familiar, but I wasn't sure about the line.
Yeah, so it's the queen takes d5 line where the queen eventually moves to h5. So yeah, looks. I'm
Looks.
trying to remember. There's also a Sicilian line which looks very similar to this, but I'm not
Yeah, the
100% sure
city line
which
was
line that
C3.
is. Yeah. Which line? Maybe you know?
E5, C4, E5, C4, E4,
Yeah.
C5, C3.
Yeah, c3. And now d5, I suppose, or?
Now knight f6, E5, knight D5, D4. C takes d4, queen d4, so that looks more or less
Yeah, this is
similar,
more or
but now
less.
e6 is the main move.
Yep. All right. So this looks exactly like what happened in the game, but this time with a tempo up for white. White already got g3 into the position. So that's an extra move that white could maybe make use of. But okay, let's see. The bishop is on g2, and here the queen will go to h5, probably with bishop h3 and short castle like the next moves. That was an interesting comparison. I really like comparisons like that, so that you can understand exactly how uh, things differ. So I'm also thinking like there are tricks in the position. For example, after a move like b3, knight c5, you should not play a move like queen e3 because then, well, knight g4, that looks very bad for white. So yeah, very interesting position. Um, all right, let's take a look at another game, board two. We've got Gawain Jones. I don't think we've discussed his game so far for England, so maybe this would be his first appearance for the England team. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it might very well be true. What about this position? I recognize it from somewhere, but I'm also not 100% sure if this is, yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. So this is a bishop b5 Sicilian, where white went for a c3 idea and now an e5. So white's got a little space advantage, but all black's pieces are more or less perfectly stationed. The bishop is gonna have a future on e7, and then the rooks are gonna come in over the c file. The reason why this line is so popular is because of this idea that Dwayne Jones has right now on the board. A strange line, I know. The rook is sometimes even stationed on d3, where it has some potential to cover d4 and where the knight can maybe jump to g5 at some point, creating some threats on the king side. And maybe the rook can actually swing over like this to create some problems on the king side. I think those are one of the ideas that the rook c3 holds in store. Um, yeah. Do you have any more information on this opening, Anna, maybe?
I played this line myself, so I have some idea about it. Rook c3. Yeah, the idea is that sometimes the rook is regrouped to g3 in this line. Rook c8 played at h4 immediately. I know that sometimes white even tries to play a3 to avoid knight b4 or bishop b4 ideas, which actually happened in the game because white played h4 immediately and now knight b4 came, attacking the pawn on a2 and trying to trade this rook so that this rook never comes to g3, never comes closer to black skin. Queen b1 on the board. Rook takes c3, b takes c3, knight c6, and knight g5, bishop g5. And white is thinking if they would like to take with the h pawn or with the bishop. To be honest, I don't know which move is actually better because after both of the moves there are some creative ideas. Like for example, after bishop g5, there are ideas to play rook e3, then rook g3, and bishop f6. So sometimes also h5, h6 is potentially very unpleasant. While if we take with the h pawn, h takes g5, then the pawn on h7 is potentially weak. And there are ideas, once again, rook e3, rook h3, and then black will maybe have to go g6 or knight e7, knight g6 ideas. But with the pawn on g5, the bishop on d2 is kind of a bit blocked. So yeah, it's like the moment to think because it's not clear with which piece it's better to recapture.
Yeah, I also don't really know. I think that after bishop takes, I like actually the geometry of the rook after bishop takes g5 because of this bishop f6 idea particularly. But I think that maybe it's already enough for black to just play a move like king h8 and then say like, okay, white can never break through because my king is totally safe. But h5, h6 ideas are very interesting as well. For example, if you play h6 here, the bishop goes somewhere, let's say back to d2, then you can maybe start trying to attack the bishop, the pawn on h6 like this, and maybe create some sort of making attack there. I don't know. I think it's a bit far-fetched to say. White has three pieces in the attacks max. Black has easy ways, I think, maybe to protect against this even, but I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing that White has enough to get the attack pushed through. So I don't know. I understand why White is thinking, and White actually took with the pawn because maybe because of that. Now the rook is going to swing over like this, probably. Okay, very interesting position. Let's move on to another board just to take a look, of course. I think maybe Jovanka is still playing, so that's always an interesting position. She plays very interesting chess. Yep, she's with black and she's playing against Martha Fierro. And Martha Fierro is actually the one with a full 100% score so far for Ecuador, like you could have seen in individual score sheet. All right.
Yeah,
Knight h4.
100% so far, great result for Martha Fierro, but now she's facing Jovanka Huska, who is also a very strong player. And what about this position? Knight h4 was just played. I'm thinking about some ideas like queen e5, attacking the rook on a1 and attacking the pawn on e4, but I'm not sure if that is actually working. Rook b1, do you want to play rook
Maybe
b1?
I could also take here first so that it's clear that you can never take on e4. Because if you take here now, then I can take the bishop on e7, and that should be very good for white. So let's say h takes, rook b1, and bishop b2 on the next move, and then I guess white should be very good, yeah?
Yeah, I also thought about some ideas to play knight c4 after taking on d6 and then knight c4. Queen
Ah,
a1 or bishop b2. Maybe it's not so good yet because we do take this queen, but maybe queen d1, one move before. Queen takes d1 and black takes the pawn on e4. Maybe this is the reason why actually this is good for black, but maybe it's still unclear. This is some complicated position.
yeah, very interesting line. Yeah. Would you go for that line, or would you maybe play rook b1 instead? Which one do you prefer?
I prefer rook b1 to be honest.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need to do. It's harder. Oh yeah, what was the quote again? It's the hardest thing to do is to play simple chess. Yeah, but I like your line with queen takes a1. That's actually something you see in a lot of lines as well. And the queen is a very strong piece in positions like this. So. Right, let's see how this progressed. Queen e5, not yet on the board. About this position, I think I really like white somehow. It's very hard to come up with a good idea for black. Maybe something like knight fd7 and bishop f6 is something to try and get the bishop over on this diagonal. But I think it's easily countered by a move like takes, takes, and f4. And then bishop f6 is not possible by playing e5. So as far as I can see, white has every answer to black's positional ideas here. So I'm thinking that white is very, very good here. And I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I have no experience in positions like that so far. So
Neither do I. Maybe white has a slight edge. I think yes. It's like a little bit better position for white because white is about to take the bishop on g6 and enjoy the game with a bishop pair advantage.
yeah, I agree. Okay, let's take a look at board 4 then. We've got Carla versus Katar Zinyatoma. Looks, I think I recognize this. This should be an advanced, not really. I thought it was an advanced French, but not exactly. Very close to it though. Oh yeah, this line is very cheeky. Threatening
That's the
queen
line.
takes f2, so d4. Knight g3. Okay, I know. I remember that knight fg1 is actually a big theoretical discussion here, with the idea that you want to trap the knight on e4, but then after f6, f3, knight g5, things are very, very complicated. F4, knight f7, or knight e4 have been played by Viswanathan Anand, for example. This is a very interesting line that White could have played. But instead, White played knight g3, and after knight takes a f takes. Okay, I don't know this f takes line. Do you remember? Do you know anything about this f takes g3 line, perhaps, Anna?
Yeah, I know it's the modern line, and people started actually to play it quite often, even on the top level with f takes g3. The idea is that later on white goes bishop d3, a short castle, and already starts threatening knight g5. That's why they actually prefer to take with f pawn, which is actually quite unusual.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was very unusual to see a move like that. Yeah. Let's see how black tried to deal with that. So c3, c5, c3, knight c6, bishop e2. Okay, I
But
think white already is stopped with one idea, and that's the bishop d3 move, because after bishop d3, black can play bishop d7, and you cannot place your castle because then the pawn will fall on d4. Even still, black might have some, white still has some compensation after this, but white decided to play bishop e2 instead. So let's put that on the board. Yeah,
yeah,
black
but
is just basically trying to disrupt white's idea from castling and win before, just exchange everything. Not much going on, I think, in this position. Maybe white is slightly better, but on the other hand, this pawn on g3 looks a bit, you can play g4, g5 as a positional solution. Okay. Yeah, not much going on here. An endgame that is about equal, I suppose. Would you agree there, Anna?
I think black is doing completely okay in this endgame because now the pawn on g3, these double pawns, they are not actually a plus anymore. White didn't manage to, get these ideas which they intended to get in the opening.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We are going to the youth board between England and Ecuador, board 5. Drum roll, please. Okay, there we go. Here. Knight beef. What is this? There's a pawn on g4. There's a pawn on h4. There's a pawn. There are pawns everywhere. What is going on here?
Some
What's
English
going on?
opening once again, but a bit crazy one. How did the players get here?
Let's
how did
take a
it
look.
happen?
I am very, very curious to see that. Once again, an English. I'm starting to think that the English like to play the English opening. I actually connect the dots right now. We see that constantly, don't we? The English playing the English. That's actually quite hilarious. But
English playing versus
against the
English
English.
in a very active English way or something like that. Yes.
Yeah, let's see if they all play the English attack as well. Actually, it's black here who's the English player, so technically it was white playing the English opening with c4. But still, we see a lot of English on the board against in this English game, so England game. So yeah, that's quite hilarious. Okay, so h3, knight c6, bishop g2. Let's take a look at what happened. So this is how the pawn came to g4, but f5, and then answered by f3. I'm not too sure if this was a good idea for the white player, especially. The pawn is blocking the bishop on g2. So I would definitely have considered something like g takes f5 and just put a knight on e4, for example, or just play knight
And
g2 and then d4. I don't know. I'm
that
not a fan of
sounds
this
more
move.
healthy. Yeah, I think I saw some games with these ideas, but I don't remember any game where f3 was played actually.
So what usually happens after g takes f5 then?
Uh, Maybe just bishop takes f5. I think in general this position is quite okay for black, despite of this a bit strange opening approach. But why not h5? Just, just go for it. Sometimes you can
Just,
enjoy chess and
yeah,
forget about the theory.
just push Harry like Mr. Ginger GM likes to say, yeah. But okay, positionally, I don't think black lost a lot of positional play here. F5, exchanging that for the G pawn, I don't think that's a really big deal. The only problem might be the e4 square. So for example, I would maybe try to play something like d3, and then knight g2 and then knight e4. But there's already a problem here, and that's the move queen g5, I think, attacking the bishop on g2. So this is a really interesting opening. I would like to play that actually with black. That looks a lot of fun. It's always fun to play f5. So in general.
I think
Yeah.
it's a good line for both white and black if you are in a must-win situation and you don't want, to go for a long theoretical line, but you prefer something complicated and then you are trying to play this way.
Yeah, I agree. Let's all push Harry from now on, everybody, and let's just have some fun. All right, knight f6, knight g2, bishop a7, d4, bishop d7, knight b5, bishop b8, nice.
Oh my
With the
God.
idea knight e7 and c6 to try and kick the knight away because the bishop is protecting the d6 pawn. d5, knight e7, e4, f4. What a
Wow.
crazy position.
Just wow.
Yeah, how should we evaluate a position like this? My first idea would be that white is absolutely fine because they're usually want to play on the king side as black. But on the other hand, the bishop is not on g7. After, for example, short castle, c6, knight goes. You have a terrific bishop on this a7 square. So I don't know. I think this needs some more analysis that we can offer. It's a very long positional game ahead between these two players of England and Ecuador. I like black's position because of the nice bishop here, but who knows? Yeah, it's a long discussion who's better and why.
Yeah, very unbalanced position and very unusual opening line.
Yeah.
Let's come back to this game a little bit later and let's take a look at some other games perhaps.
Your wish is my command. Let's take a look at the next one. So this is the last game between England and Ecuador. Akshaya playing against Anahi. And let's see who's better and why. So far, I don't mind black's position. Black seems to be very solid and stable. It's also black to move. So if white could have played 94, maybe trying to attack the bishop on f6, then maybe I would say that white might be slightly better. But since it's black to move, I don't know. I like black's position, but I'm having a hard time finding a way to continue. Maybe just play bishop e7 back, for example, 94. I would not want to play f5. That's very weakening because of the 6 pawn, or maybe just a move like queen b6. Looks very natural. Just put the rooks over here. And I think black's position is very harmonious. Not much going on here, in my opinion.
I like black's position a bit more, but maybe I would just start with queen b6. Maybe I don't need bishop b7 actually. And in case of knight e4, can I try bishop e5?
All right. Absolutely. That's why we are commentators. We can try everything. Let's
If
see.
knight g5, then just g6. I even prefer black's position because black has a better development. And that's what I like about it. Yeah, rook d8, rook c8 is coming.
Yeah, black is a bit faster with the development. Yeah. So yeah, this looks a bit better for white, for black. Apologies. Yeah, let's see if they made a move. And yep, some moves have been played, but they are listening to you, Anna. Queen b6, knight e4, but bishop e7. Aha. All right, knight g5 played, still with the same idea. If I take here and bishop takes g5, I think g6 is still the best idea. Yeah, to keep the bishop pair and yeah, not allow, of course, the mate with queen takes h7. I would play g6 here.
Yeah, g6 looks like the most logical move. And also, yeah, we don't take on g5. We don't give a bishop pair advantage. We don't develop the bishop from c1 for free. We don't do that.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a good idea for black. So, okay, but it's taken off the board, and now h6 is being played.
Oh, that was played? Hello?
And gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back. I apologize. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. We had a little bit of a disconnect problem. It is so your favorite co-host. I'm just calling myself favorite co-host because no one else does. We're back in here with Grandmaster Anna Musichuk. I'm glad we can take this one on together. The final one. I am ready to get down, Anna. I hope you're feeling good. It's been a long day. We're nearly there.
Yes, it was a long day for both of us. Welcome, Walter Big, our producer, and I think we will finish this stream together because unfortunately Roland got some connection problems.
He just said, you know...
Fortunately, we have Walter here, so...
He actually said, well, I actually don't want to do this anymore with Anne. You know, I don't really like her as a co-host, so he just left. You know, it's a little bit mean, but, you know, it is what it is. No, he unfortunately left. He unfortunately disconnected, but we are back. And Anne, you see this, right? If I can play a lot of moves for white, this is the first thing that comes in mind. This is the first thing that comes to mind. It almost works. You know, he still has queen h5, but you know, you feel it, right? You feel it, right? You know what it is.
You brought some action to the stream.
We bring some action to the stream. I think I even have the standings here as well. Chat, let's bring it up real quick. Hungary is in. Is it Hungary? That's how you pronounce it, right? Because I always mispronounce those things.
Hungary, yes.
Because there's like a really
leading the group with 10 points. England also with 10 points. Ecuador with 8 at the moment, but the round is still in progress, so the standings will be different after this one.
The heat is on, ladies and gentlemen. And the heat is on in this game as well. This looks really interesting for white. What is this bishop doing on e3?
Are you asking me? No,
I'm asking Roland, but he's not here, so... Yeah, I'm asking you.
Roland, please write in the chat.
Please.
What do you think about the bishop on e3? Well, this game is a bit complicated. The bishop moved to c5. And yeah, we have a deuce knight on g6. On the other hand, white's king is quite exposed, so some tactical tricks are in the air, like knight d4, for example. Be careful with these ones or some other ones. Yeah, it's not clear what's going on in this game.
It's a difficult one. I almost want to sacrifice my rook here on g1 because this is such a perfect place for the rook. But it will be a little bit too much. It seems like they're going into repetition right now, which seems bad. It's a bit, you know, unfortunate because we want to see blood. But it seems fair. Maybe after I thought maybe after king here, bishop here, you play bishop a3 first, stop that bishop, and then I go back because I don't see what this threatens at the moment.
Maybe it's not threatening anything. Maybe that is to play something like bishop d2. But yes, I also, as a spectator, I would prefer to see the game still continuing rather than ending in a perpetual.
Well, it is
not perpetual, but in the repetition. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but it's the repetition. This is fine. I mean, we had Jovanka as a guest last time, so it's always a blast to have her around. And Martha Fierro is a very strong player, so it's an even thing. But I believe that the bishop a3 would bring some spice back in the action, but I'm not sure what the score was between England and Ecuador. Maybe they're steving off to a 3-3 and that's where they want to leave it. So let's keep it going. This one seems pretty over. This one seems cool. Yeah, this one seems cool. Who's better here?
Let me calculate the material. White is a pawn up, so white should be a bit better. But look at the small rook a4. The rook is coming to d4, and it's not completely clear white is winning this position.
Absolutely no. This is a very strong rook move. Rook d4, like you pointed out, this is going to be a very active rook with a very inactive rook for white. White needs at least three moves to get some action going on the queen side. While black can easily start mixing it up in the center. Well, I'm saying easily, but maybe not that easy.
But it's not so easy, yeah. So, what about b6? In case white plays b6 and try to activate the rook, I thought about b6 for white.
I like that as well. It's better than my idea, Chat, because I wanted to bring the king all the way over here, which seems safe. Then get the queen over here, and then get the queen in. So it's a little bit of a route.
That's actually a very cool idea. I really like to mention it. And this is the idea you see sometimes in King's Indian. So, do you play King's Indian?
I play. It's all I play. It's my it's my
Oh,
bread and butter.
that's the reason.
My
You
bread
see,
and butter.
I cracked it.
You cracked me well. You cracked me well. This is a weird move. Can I say this is a weird move? This seems like an odd pawn structure.
This seems like white will never win this, but black, no. If black plays king a7, then white will not allow king b6, but they would give a check on f2, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe this will be another repetition.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think that it will. Oh, this actually is exactly. Oh, let's go! King to e7. Yo, I'm saying, Matthew's listening. Matthew, you're welcome. If you win, I get a big pay. Get a big paycheck for.
Queen c8, king d7, queen b8, queen a7. If black could make 4 moves in a row, black would have get.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
black would have some chances, some winning chances, but yeah, it's difficult to make 4 moves in a row.
So
now b6 4.
We only have like 6 games left, so I'm gonna stay on this a little bit. So the idea is if queen a2, maybe you can break open here, but it does give like queen a5 and then b6, so maybe not the best idea.
You're also a pawn down, so it's not a good idea, you know, to break
exactly.
through.
This is also very annoying. Well, maybe not b6, but at least trading off.
But if you go to the very beginning after c6, d takes c6 wins on the spot, b takes c6 and queen d8 check. Trading the queens. No, queen g8.
Oh, queen g8. I feel. Ooh, look at that. You see, I only see.
I know the diagonal is a little bit too long.
Okay, let me tell the chat. Chat, this is what I hold on, chat. Let me show you something. So this is only for the chat to see. All right. Anna can see this. This is what I see, chat, when I play chess. All right. This is what I see. I only see the left side of the board when I was calculating it, and obviously spotting the correct answer and the correct continuation. What a legend. All right, so this, so played passive, played calm, and I think, ooh, I like black here actually.
Oh, yeah, thanks for mentioning it to the chat, because, you know, I see in the chat there are many of my subs. Thank you so much for support. Thanks for coming here. Yes, I'm not streaming on my channel, but I'm streaming here, so I'm glad you're also following the stream here on Chess.com channel.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Okay, we're going to leave this game for a bit. It seems like black won the pawn back, so I think black is going to end in a draw. Maybe queen a6 at some point to trade them off, and then, you know, we are a happy couple. So, we got a number of results. This one is done, this one is done. This one gets me going. This is a cool one. It seems like white is a pawn up, but black has a very nice h-pawn.
It seems like, and also the knight on g5, look how cool this knight is. It's supporting the h-pawn and it's also blocking the g4 pawn. I really like this knight on g5.
Yep, I agree. And you also see that when you have the light square bishop in the endgame, black moves all their pieces on the dark squares. That's exactly what happens here, just to make sure that they can't be attacked.
Yeah, it looks like this is a draw.
Yeah, seems like a draw. Seems like an easy one. This seems like a nice win. All black wants to do here is to protect the g1 square. So whatever white does, if he starts chasing, you can actually just start running and you're there. And if white tries to get here to g1, you simply play king f2. And there's no way for white to get in there. So a nice display of end game knowledge by the grandmasters. You know they have it.
Thank you, Walter. What about the other games?
What about this one? GG. Yo.
This one, it's like overwhelming advantage for black. Yeah. No.
So
yes.
yeah. So white wants to do here is play for a stalemate, but that's going to be not possible. Fortunately, we're just going to see this pawn move up and rook g1, and it is see you later, alligator. I don't. Oh, I actually want to. Oof. Maybe like king c3 and a rook a1 mate, but that's never gonna happen.
Maybe it's just better to start bringing the king from a3 to another pawn, or
yeah. I'm always looking
H2.
at. So let's say this is gonna be a queen. Let's say this is gonna be a queen. Is there a way that white can still mate himself? Yeah, if the queen comes here. So let's say we do this. Stupid moves, chat. Stupid moves. Queen, I go here, and if you grab it, it's a stalemate. All right, so that's the way you gotta think in these kind of positions. How can I still make myself? But when your opponent is a WIM, it's gonna be difficult to achieve.
It's gonna be difficult. Yeah, just h2. But why are we d2? I prefer to play h2.
Oh, A2! Oh, it still works. Oh, Rook A2. Oof.
Heart attack.
I got
almost.
excited. I got really excited. Yeah,
But I don't like the rook on g2. I prefer it h2 and rook h3.
yeah, I agree. This is a little bit odd because now the rook gets behind the pawn, which you don't want to see. But I still think black is gonna have an easy win.
Yeah, still winning.
All right, so the queen
And
won. Yeah, go
Queen
ahead.
one, draw. Queen ending, and draw.
Yep.
And this one, oh,
Ooh.
okay. Too many pieces.
Ah, that's a.
And now Najisa now, yeah, just no stalemates.
No stalemates right now. Okay, this is easy. Just get your knight to c1 here. You can just play knight here right now, and then knight f7.
And that's exactly what white did.
There we go. Doesn't even have to defend the spot, even if black can never take the pawn because you will just promote. So doing well. Get another knight just to flex. No, maybe not. And this is over. All right, well done. The final game, ladies and gentlemen. If I believe I am so correct, which I usually am not, but I'll go for it right now.
But sometimes we are. Do we have the updates in the results? I see England won a very important match.
Wow, congrats England.
4-2. Congratulations to England. They beat Ecuador. Hungary beat Scotland 6-0. Wow.
Oof, what a beatdown.
Oh yes, it was painful loss. But on the other hand, Hungary is a very strong team. And well, I wouldn't say 6-0 was like an expected result, but winning the match was an expected result.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mexico, Argentina, was that already done?
Mexico, Argentina. At the moment it's 3-2, and we are still waiting for the update of one of the results. Colombia beat Costa Rica 3.5 to 2.5. And one more match. Bolivia is losing to Montenegro 2-3, and we are waiting for one more result.
Yep, that's this game, and we're just waiting how Black is going to decide. Black could have won 30 times already, but she's deciding, let's take it slow. Let's have some. No, it's a draw. It's repetition.
How?
What?
No.
What?
No. How could they miss that?
How could?
Unbelievable. No words to describe my surprise. But very well fighting from Daniela Cordero. She fought it till the very end, and she found her chances.
She could have been made it. Let's see it in a positive way. You could have been made it, so we'll take the draw.
Come on, making a draw in a totally lost position.
So it was black, which was Bolivia, and Bolivia was up, right? Already? That's already 3 points.
But just a second, was that important for the match score? Just a second. No, that was not so important because anyway, Montenegro won the match 3.5 to 2.5. Yes. So at least it wasn't like, a painful draw.
Yeah, exactly. Montenegro was winning already, so it is the way it is. All right, perfect. Well, those were all the games right now, ladies and gentlemen. We will let's have a quick look on who is the absolute champion of Pool E so far, which is going to be it seems like Martha Fierro is 5 out of 5, and we have a bunch. Ecuador and Colombia are both very well represented in the top. The last round still hasn't been updated yet, but we will get back to that soon.
Martha Fierro, she has 5.5 out of 6, which is also an outstanding result.
Wow.
But 5 out of 5 sounded even better, I agree.
That's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty impressive. Oh, it just updated. Look at that. You ask and you shall receive, and you ask and you shall receive. So like Candela Francisco, 5.5 out of 6. Martha Fierro, 5.5 out of 6. Yeah, impressive. Also, Ana Puelo Rodas, 5 out of 6. So very strong competition, and I really like this. So this is why I like Tata Steel. You know Tata Steel. You've been at Tata Steel, 2015, correct?
I played 2 times, and the last one was in 2013, I believe.
2013. Will you be there next year? I'll be there.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know even if the tournament will be organized. I know it's planned, and it's great that organizers are trying to make it work. But do you have any predictions?
It's gonna be there. I mean, of course, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Yeah. So what I was talking about something, but I got sidetracked. Oh yeah. So the thing I love about Tata Steel is you have the best people in the world, and you also have like a few challengers in like the Masters group. So you have like Jordan, Vincent Kmar, with like the top of the top. So you get this mix of not only the best of the best, but you also get some new fresh talent in these games. And I think that's a really cool combo. And I love that as well about this format. So they had to think of something. You can't have a women's event and a men's event and doing it in like a day. This is like spread over a month and weekends and divisions and pools. So I think it's quite clever what they did. And that it brings such a variety of different players. I think it's amazing. And I'm glad that we can give a stage with interviews as well. Not only the best of the best, but also these new players. And I think that's amazing.
I agree with you, and yes, I totally agree with that. The format Tata Steel tournament is using is actually a very interesting one, and I played 2 times in the B group, and it was like an honor because next to me I saw Carlsen playing, Caruana playing, and all these top players. While also the B group is very strong. And one player, the winner of the B group, is always advanced to the A group, so it's like additional motivation. And my best result was that I finished on the 4th place, I think, but still for me it was like a good result. So I'm happy to be invited, and like I say, and yeah, thanks to the organizers, thanks to everyone who made that tournament possible.
Absolutely. Even though, we have an interview actually, so we're gonna
new
jump.
New templates, new interviews.
We're
I'm
going
looking forward.
into absolutely. So let's
New
jump
surprise.
into this. Who's it gonna be? Ghostbusters, and that's something else. Also a very good show. We'll be back in just a sec, ladies and gentlemen, with a new surprise guest. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me adjust my camera so you don't see only the front of my head. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with International Master Martha Fierro. Welcome. Welcome. Your games have been a joy to watch. You've been playing very good. How are you feeling about this tournament right now?
I'm feeling excited. I'm happy that, in the positions, I managed somehow to find some interesting moves. even though during the games, I really didn't know what was happening. I was like, okay, I just be careful, don't lose any piece, no? But yeah, I'm feeling good. I love playing online. So I think that helped me, especially during these last months, being at home, I played a lot online.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because Jovanka Huska, we had her yesterday. She was like, she's itching. She got an itch to play over the board again because she misses pushing wood. And some people were like, "No, we don't care. I wanna play online. It's good. It's fine." So nice. There's a little bit of balance in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. Martha, we have been following your results, and you started with an amazing 5 out of 5, and you made a draw in the last game. So it's 5.5 out of 6. Congrats on that. It's a great achievement. So what can you say about the chances of Ecuador? As I can see at the moment you are sharing third place. Was it expected for the team? Because yes, you are fighting for top 3 places, and top 3 places are qualified to the top division. What is the team spirit?
Well, we are very excited and we are in very good mood. We have a meeting all the time, before the games and after the 3 games of the day. And we have a very good spirit. So we're going to fight until the end. We are very positive. We just lost the match against England, but England is a very strong team. But I'm sure we're going to fight until the end, the last 3 rounds.
Okay, that's kind of funny. Let me ask you a question. So when you play like in a team format and you win a game, you usually like maybe get a drink or like hang out a little bit. Do you also do that after these online Olympiads? So now the round is closed. Are you all gonna pop open a drink, have a beer? How's that gonna go?
Yeah, well, yes. We're gonna for sure relax a little bit because even though during the games you have maybe during each game. After each game you have like 15 minutes to rest, but actually you are like talking to the team and you are tense. You have no time to relax. So after the 3 rounds, we're going to have a Zoom. We're going to have some nice drinks and then plan the strategy for tomorrow and be very positive.
All right, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us for this interview. Anna, you got any closing questions?
The last question, could you tell us a little bit about your activities during this lockdown? What have you been doing? You have already mentioned you have played a lot of games online. Anything beside that?
No, during the morning and afternoon I had to work a lot on my job, so I had to assist many people because I'm a consul here in Italy. So we had to assist a lot of people. So morning and afternoon I had to work, and then evening chess every day. I was putting my daughter to sleep, and then I came back to play online. I always love to play online, and so during this period, this was a dream to play online because you could have fun without leaving our house. So it's perfect. It was perfect. And now this Chess Olympiad online is a great idea. So I think many people are happy about this tournament.
Oh, absolutely. So thank you so much for joining. You are entertaining a lot of people. So we have 4,000 people watching on this channel alone at this interview. So it's amazing. You're an absolute legend. Let's hope Ecuador gets there to the next round as well, to the top divisions. Obviously, we commentators want all the teams to go to the next round, but can't have that all. But when Ecuador goes to the next round, we will definitely be cheering for you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, Martha, good luck to you and to Ecuador team. We will be rooting for you for sure. And yeah, that was international master Martha Fierro, who is occupied all day long with job, with chess, with playing chess, with the daughter. And yeah, this is the way when, if you have everything planned, well, you can manage to do all the things.
Exactly. We'll be right back, chat. All right, everyone. That was Martha. That's a nice woman. She is very nice, I must say. Full of spirit, even though she had a big day in the morning and the afternoon, and then you have your daughter, you have to put her to bed, but also I need to go to work. But I have the same thing, chat, right? I'm producing, now I don't have a daughter, let's start with that, but I'm producing these shows, and during the break time, I have a puppy. You can see her right here. She's chilling over there, and I need to walk her during the day, so when I only have like 15 minutes, we're like pulling her over the streets, like, I need to go! Not really, but at least we're having a good time. No, she's very pleasant, and let's show the standings real quick. The overall standings that we have, ladies and gentlemen, we are done for today. We'll be back for tomorrow. The top 3 will move on to the next division, the top divisions where the heavyweights are. Russia, China, why are those the only things that I can think of? 1 second.
Okay, there are many.
There are many.
Russia, China,
USA, Ukraine, India.
India,
Thank
yes,
you, thank you.
Azerbaijan, Armenia, and many
Many more, absolutely.
many really strong teams. Yeah.
So I think we're going to close it off, Anne. Any parting words for today?
Important words for today. So it's my last word for today. Yeah, I'd like to thank all our viewers for watching the stream. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your feedback. Thank you, Walter, and thanks to Roland, who was with me before. It was a pleasure to commentate together with both of you. What else? We have had a really long stream. It was the stream lasts 9 hours, yeah? 9-hour long stream in total, while, we also hope to see all of you tomorrow too. Tomorrow's stream will start at 10 a.m. Central European time, and it will last till 9 p.m. in the evening. So see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a nice day or a nice evening, while for today, we would like to say you goodbye.
So before we go, I almost missed this, ladies and gentlemen. We have a preview for tomorrow, as you can see on stream right now. This will be round 7. These will be the first rounds in every pool. Look for your country, see what it is. I think Pool A will start at 10 a.m. Central Time. Pool B will start, so then after 2 hours, a new pool will start. So at 10, 12, 2, I believe it's like that. I could be wrong, but you should just be here all day, so you can see all of it, right, Anne?
Yeah, all day. We will cover all the day, starting from Pool A till Pool E, and tomorrow is the decisive day. Yeah, we will know all the teams who will qualify to the top division. The top division is the division where actually all the prizes will be distributed, the main prizes, yes, and we will know in the top division who will become the winner of first ever online chess Olympiad.
The Olympics aren't easy. Chat, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow in the next stream with Roland Bruisers. Special shout out to him. I'm just here for the final moments. He was here all day with Anne. These two are absolute legends. See you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.